This broadcast is presented by the Flyers Cup and SFBN, who own all broadcast rights. Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game, including social media, is strictly prohibited.
From Hatfield Ice Rink in Colmar, Pennsylvania, it's the AA bracket semifinals of the 46th annual Flyers Cup. And then there were four, so we started with some 46 teams in the various divisions and brackets last week, and now we're down to the final four at the AA bracket. And here today in game one of our doubleheader, the number one seed Council Rock South Golden Hawks, 21-1, had to rally from behind in their first round win against the Cinderella story, the upstart 12 seed, the last team in the tournament, the Springford Rams under head coach Thomas Casella, with two thrilling wins in their first round games, upsets over the 5 seed and the 4 seed to knock off Central Bucks South and Haverford back to back. The Springford Rams, the slipper has fit so far. Can it continue to fit for goaltender Grant Olson, who has been phenomenal? It's a 1 versus 12 matchup in the first semifinal of the AA bracket. Hi, everyone. Bob Rotrug here with you, and welcome to our exclusive coverage of the 46th annual Flyers Cup, the 2025 Flyers Cup, the Philadelphia area high school hockey tournament championships, presented exclusively on the Sports Fan Base Network on YouTube. The winner of this game will play the winner of our second game. That's a 2 versus 3 matchup. The chalk has held up for that side of the bracket, as it were. The 2 seed North Penn Knights now at 19-3 against the Downingtown East Cougars, the 3 seed, now at 15-6. But as for this one, Council Rock South comes into this game after quite a scare in its first game. They had a first round bye, so their first game was in the quarterfinals in the second round, trailing 3-0 in the third period against the Boyertown Bears, the 9 seed. And somehow Tyler Griffith of Boyertown had made 55 straight saves before Council Rock South finally broke through with 11:19 left on their 56th shot of the game, and they got on the board to make it 3-1 on a goal by Jeremy Rayer. That opened up a stretch of 4 goals in 3 minutes and 25 seconds. And Council Rock South stayed with it, out-shooting Boyertown in the game, 68-23. And in the third period, 25-6. Jake Wiener with a pair of goals, including an empty netter to put it on ice. Jagger Smith had the winning goal on a tap-in on the backhander with 7:54 left. That broke the 3-3 tie just a minute after they had just tied it at 3-3. And then in the end, Boyertown gets a power play. They had a chance, but they gave up the shorthanded empty netter when it was 6-on-4. For the Springford Rams, 4-3 upset win in overtime over Central Bucks South, the 5 seed. Hanging around and phenomenal goaltending by Grant Olson. They were down 3-1 in the third in a game that really could have been 5-1 or 6-1 when you look at the shots that didn't go in, that hit off the post or were rolling on the line. Springford catching a couple of breaks, and then they rally to tie it. On goals by Stephen Falbo with 8:20 left, and William Schaefer 6-on-5 with 1:02 left, setting things up for a crazy overtime finish. And going on the power play, Central Bucks South, but Dylan Sear, his second goal of the game, steals it behind their goal and scores the shorthanded overtime winner. What a huge upset, rallying from behind in overtime for the last team in the tournament. And then Grant Olson, 32 saves and 4 goals for Broden Nickel, and a 4-0 win over the 4 seed Haverford in the quarterfinals. So Springford still alive and kicking. A 1 versus 12 matchup here in the semifinals of the AA bracket of the Flyers Cup. Play-by-play action on the way for Council Rock South, 21-1 against the upstart Cinderella story Springford Rams at 12-9-1. And it's on the way next on the Sports Fan Base Network on YouTube.
Do you know what a blue hen is? It's prideful, spirited, fiery, Blue Hen never backs down from a challenge. And we're there to support them. Delaware Orthopedic Specialist, the official orthopedic partner of University of Delaware Athletics.
Haddon Planning Group is an independent financial advisory firm serving all Flyers fans across the country. Located in Pennsylvania since 1981, we will offer a free financial plan to all parents of student athletes participating in the Flyers Cup. For more information about our services, go to haddonplanning.com or call Jake Reardon at 856-428-5300.
Hey fans, the Sports Fanbase Network is offering player shoutouts on every Flyers Cup game live stream. Give your favorite player their 15 seconds of fame. Just send $25 via Venmo or Cash App to the SFBN. Then you send an email to thesfbn@gmail.com with the name and team of your player, a high-resolution photo, and a 1 to 2 line script for the SFBN commentators to read. Once the payment and email is completed, SFBN will reply to confirm receipt, and you will see your player shout-out at least once per game played. So send out a player shout-out for every Flyers Cup broadcast here on the Sports Fanbase Network.
Hi, I'm Tommy Green, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. When I was in high school, it was very important to me to show scouts what I could do. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fanbase Network. If you're a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY-EASY.
Attention hockey players. The 2025 Keystone State Games Ice Hockey Tournament will be July 25th through 27th, 2025 at Penn State University State College. If you
South Golden Hawks under head coach Joe Halkin three-peating in the Suburban League National Championships and coming into this game with an overall record of 21-1 and perhaps a date with North Penn in the championship game. Certainly many would forecast that, and both teams still alive, but they have to get through their semifinal games first. Trey Prezillo in goal for Council Rock South, 15-0 on the season, and then another win in the Flyers Cup to make it 16-0 when he had 20 saves on 23 shots in dispatching Boyertown 5-3. So Prezillo on the season, 15-0 overall, 284 goals against average and a save percentage of .886. Jake Wiener had 2 goals in their first game and 2 assists for 4 points. And the talented junior number 18, 44 goals on the season, 63 points total, including a half a dozen hat tricks, 9 power play goals too. Jeremy Rayer, who sparked their comeback in the third period on their 56th shot of the game. 31 goals this season, including 3 hat tricks and 63 points overall. Grant Olson in net for the Springford Rams, or in blue, under head coach Thomas Casella. 4-3 overtime comeback win over Central Bucks South. 4-0 shutout win on 32 saves for Grant Olson in their second game, and Broden Nickel leading the way with 4 goals in that one, and the sophomore with 19 goals and 45 points on the season. He's on a line with Dylan Sear, the overtime hero in their first game. And the Golden Hawks win the opening face-off. The 1-seed Council Rock South wearing the white jerseys, trying to steal it out in front. A quick little shot is deflected off of a stick of Jake Maurer and bounces in back behind Trey Prezillo. Looking to clear, it's not back in. Filipoff is on his horse and bangs it around the boards to find Jordan Sarney. Sarney, who also had a goal in their 5-3 win over Boyertown. Blocked down by the Springford Rams. Patrick Fergus had a piece. Going out there getting a check with Jackson Mosley for CR South. Lead pass and just a little bit beyond the reach of Rayer and sails all the way down ice. That's an icing violation, so after Council Rock South won the opening face-off, they were stuck in their zone a little bit. Springford blocked down a couple of exit passes. Seth Galati is the big senior out there who had 8 goals, 5 assists, and 13 points in the season. And he'll be on the draw here up against Jonah Weston of Council Rock South. And Springford wins the face-off and trying to get turned for a shot. It's not going to happen. Jagger Smith will knock it up there. And here comes Wiener, captain. Got through Riley, rolled into the slot and smacked away and cleared Cohen Graff. Kept in on the blue line. Jake Wiener 2 goals and 4 points in their 5-3 win over Boyertown, including an empty netter that finished it. A shot from the point that went wide, bounces around the boards. Hustling over there is Falbo and Graff for Springford, the Cinderella story, the 12 seed and the last team in, and they make it to the tournament after they go 10-9-1 overall. Now 12-9-1 with a couple of wins. Save for Grant Olson on the shot by Jake Wiener, and punched it over and into the corner. Rolled around the boards and from behind the goal. Boy, a pickoff there. And Isaac Beistol trying to find a connection and a friend and looking to carry it away. Rushing through center, Seth Galati, the senior. Drives it in deep and behind the Golden Hawks goaltender, Trey Prezillo. Down in the corner, somebody dropped the stick and a 2-on-2 tangle up for it. And just the board battles and just trying to stay tight with these guys to keep it close. And Valerio tried to shoot it, blocked by his own teammate there. Broden Nicola had 4 goals in their second round win. 4 goals as they knocked off Haverford 4-zip. Here comes Council Rock South. Grinberg, cross-ice pass, deflected by Schaefer. Makes it through to the other side, it looks like, and wheeling in behind the goal and all the way around to the corner, while Council Rock South changing a couple players with the Rams find the puck, get the clear. Filippov chases it down. Yeah, he can move very nicely. Cross-ice pass was tipped before it got over there to Grinberg and back out to center. Nickel couldn't reach it. Filippov just took an icing call, and he was kind of rolling his eyes after that. He knew what he had done. He was trying to forcefully clear it away, but instead gets called for the icing, so an offensive zone face-off for the Springford Rams. And just trying to keep this Council Rock team in check, 21-1 overall. And some big scores in there. Their only loss, a 5-3 loss to North Penn on February 5th. North Penn, the Knights, a great story as well. I mean, they were barely in the tournament last year and had not qualified for a couple years before that. They're the 2 seed, and some people would be envisioning. Here's a little backhander right on top of Grant Olson and a nice save to deny CR South. Some envisioning you could get another rematch there of the Suburban League National, Council Rock South and the North Penn Knights, who would be considered the favorites for their respective games. Here comes Springford and jabbed off the stick there of William Schaefer. Schaefer had a tying goal in their first round game against that first round game with 62 seconds left against Central Buck South, and he scored 6 on 5. Jordan Sarney from the red line shovels it in deep and around the boards behind Grant Olson. Springford looking good to start, and then blocked down at center, and Ralston took a spill there, got bumped by Grady Heacock, and they kind of jab away and shove on each other while the puck rolled all the way down ice. That's an icing violation. A couple little words exchanged maybe between those players. Obviously, you get the tensions, you get the emotions going, especially for the seniors in potentially their last game ever, wearing their jerseys for Council Rock South or Springford. Council Rock South made a run to the Flyers Cup championship game last year, but they lost in the finals against the Penridge Rams, who went on to win the Cup and, of course, the state championship too, and they lost 7-3. But Council Rock South is back and better than ever at 21-1. Although they were struggling in their first round game when they were their first game in the second round, when they were trailing Boyertown 3-zip in the third period before they rallied from behind. Collision at center, and then Jake Wiener chased it down and hit off the legs of Venezia, but he couldn't get anywhere with it. Pursuing it in the zone up there was Ethan Rybarczyk. Broken up, and Council Rock South is in, and a shot nicely deflected away. A couple players tumble over each other. Cohen Graff blocked the shot. Then he fell over the sprawled Jonah Weston from back on the Council Rock South side and sailed all the way on to goaltender Trey Prezillo. That will officially qualify as Springford's first shot on goal. So here we are, 12:45 into the first period, and we've only had a couple of whistles really so far. And we're almost, 4 minutes and change into this game. Shots are just 2-1, and this maybe is the kind of tighter game that I would think would benefit Springford, and the kind of game that they would like to play, I would think. Stephen Falbo tried a shot off the faceoff, but that's over the glove of Trey Prezillo. 15-0 this season, now 16-0 after they won their first round game, rallying from behind against Boyertown. Council Rock South is in, hustling back. William Schaefer looked like he broke it up. Kept in by the Golden Hawks. and rolled over to the right wing corner. Springford trying to find the handle. Bouncing around on the blue line. Riley helped escort it out, and then he got a bump in on Grinberg. They tangle right underneath us, and emerging with the puck there is Brendan Rooney, a sophomore forward with 3 goals this year. Filipov, he's got some good wheels a senior day, but he coughed it up, and then it was knocked off the stick from behind of Stephen Falbo before he could get running. William Schaefer sets it up. Lead pass beyond the reach of Galati over there trying to chase it down, and it comes right back to Schaefer. Wanted to find Nickel, had 4 goals in their second round game against Haverford, but intercepted, centering for Rayer, and sailed right through everyone and over to the corner. Now out in front, trying to give it to Rayer again. That was blocked down. Paraboro held it into the line. Bouncing around, couple guys get a piece. Paraboro keeps it in. Wanted a little deflection down low for Rayer. Wonderful work on the blue line by Paraboro, as they couldn't find a clear, and now stolen by Springford. Lead pass, and it's a breakaway. Ferguson on goal. Backhander save for Trey Brazillo. He denies Patrick Fergus on the breakaway. Now a little run and gun, and Rayer is in on a nice pad save for Grant Olson, kicking out the right leg. And that was a good shot as well. Broden Nickel, here he comes. Lead pass beyond the reach of Dylan Sear, the overtime winner in their first round upset win, rallying from behind, and he had 2 goals, including the shorthanded goal in overtime to win it. Stole it on their power play for CB South, and from behind the goal, picked it off and carried it out in front and buried it on just a thrilling finish and a stunner when Springford scored twice in the last 8.5 minutes of the third period to come back on Central Buck South when they were down 3-1. Really should have been down 6-1 or so. Couple shots off the post, and Springford wouldn't go away. They kept hanging around. They gave themselves a chance, and then they scored 2 late. Tied it with 1:02 left on the 6-on-5 goal by Schaefer, and then Dylan Sear. Then, CB South gets a power play in overtime. That's good for them, right? But Dylan Sear said, and he stole it behind their goal, and he stuffed it in on a kind of a backhand wraparound on the steal and short-handed winner in OT in the first round for the last team to get to the tournament. Rybarczyk is up there along with Cooper Venezia. Stolen away, Jake Maurer, big body for the senior, handing it off, looking for a clear, kept it on the point. Trying the shot over there was Beistel, that was blocked. And now here comes Council Rock South into the zone, and a shot off the glove of Grant Olson, and a dandy there to deny Jake Wiener. Out in front, Wiener, and he put that one off of Olson as well. Jake Wiener with 44 goals this year, including 6 hat tricks, and denied a couple of times. 6-2 in favor of the Council Rock South. Golden Hawks are the shots from behind the goal, and carrying it back the other way as Grant Olson tracks the puck. Wiener turning from the right dot, and that shot was deflected by Beistel. Goes into the corner. Getting a touch on it over there was Jonah Weston. Kept in Filipov, and that puck goes on the line or not. They back off to avoid the delayed offside call. And then it's icing on Springford. So that was a good presence of mind to realize it had gone back behind the blue line by a tick. If he had touched it again, the faceoff could have gone all the way back into their own zone. But instead, he let them take it, and they took an icing, so it results in an offensive zone faceoff for Council Rock South. With 9:26 to go in the first period, 0-0 score for the 1 seed Council Rock South against the 12 seed Springford, and the shots in the game are 6-2. And the winner of this one to play the winner of the 2 versus 3 matchup, North Penn Knights against the Downingtown East Cougars, who got past the rival Downingtown West Whippets last week 4-0, which was also the score that Springford won by against Haverford. Valerio in a little bit of trouble. Chasing him down as Jackson Mosley crunched into him on the forecheck. Filipov kept it on the point, and a bouncer back there. Mosley for Rayer, and he shanked on it. He pushed it wide. He was all wide open at the net front. Here's Maurer. Little dipsy-do and a dangle on the point. Mosley shooting off the glove of Grant Olson. He saw it well. It hit off of his trapper, and then he'll drop and cover and hang on. Shots are now 9-2, and Council Rock South is knocking on the door, but you know, in the first game that I saw with Springford and Grant Olson kind of sang this tune before. We saw that over and over again with CB South, and Grant Olson just stood on his head and kept Springford around, and they win a defensive zone faceoff. Nickel hands it off there to Isaac Beistel. I mean, this was the last team in the tournament. Only 12 teams in the AA bracket. Springford is the 12 seed. the last team to the dance, and they're in the Final Four. Nickel is in with Dylan Sear. This is their top line. Fergus, who was denied on the breakaway just a couple minutes ago on a dandy save for Brazillo. Huge collision over there. Look out. They step up again to each other, and then the officials want to kind of cool things out some here. And nobody really wants to take penalties that are going to put their team in a bind, you know, when just a single power play could make the difference. So you've got the emotions going and the tensions rising, the temperature rising too, but you want to keep it clean as best you can. Jackson Mosley was kind of gesturing to Dylan Sear coming off the ice. Sear was talking to him, and Jackson Mosley kind of told him with his hands, yeah, I hear you talking at me. It's all just talk. So we got a little bit of the chirping and the trash talk out there going on too. With 8:05 to go in the first period and a 0-0 score, Council Rock South from its own zone. Nice connection, Weston up to Rayer. Schaefer caught up to him and reaches around with the stick and knocked it away. Nice play to break it up there. And now Dylan Sear into the zone down low with Broden Nickel. That pass disrupted and stolen back by the Golden Hawks of Council Rock South. Lead pass sails all the way down ice. That will be an icing. So Grant Olson, the senior goaltender for Springford, has certainly stepped up during this Flyers Cup. And his defense ahead of him a little bit too as well, by the way. But in the season before the Flyers Cup, Grant Olson, the senior, 9-8-1, a goals against average of .415, and a save percentage of .878. So I don't know if you consider him the very best goaltender in the inter-county Pioneer, but he's been pretty good and now really rising to the occasion in these two upset wins of the Flyers Cup, knocking off the 5-seed CB South and the 4-seed Haverford back-to-back. Venezia into the zone, bumped from behind by Rooney, and stolen by Daniel Filipov with 7:18 to go in the first. Shots are 10-2, Golden Hawks, and now it's 11-2. Another shot and a save off the left pad for Grant Olson. Out in front, shot is over his right shoulder. Comes off the end boards to the corner and rolled around. Needs a little help back there. They got to get the heat away from Grant Olson. Council Rock South coming closer and closer to breaking through. And now into the zone. Here comes Springford on the counterattack. Right, Barzik's shot was deflected and popped upstairs and out of play with 6:54 remaining in the first period. And now the shots are 11-2. CR South last year beat Boyertown in the semifinals 3-1. It was tied 1-1 after 2 periods. And then they lost in the Flyers Cup finals against the eventual champions, the Penridge Rams, 7-3. 2 years ago, they lost to Pennsbury in the finals, semifinals, 7-5. And that was a heartbreaker for them. They had a 4-1 lead and blew it, leading 4-1 and then losing 5-7 when they gave up not 6 straight, but 6 out of the next 7 goals. So Council Rock South, especially the seniors who were parts of those 2 seasons and 2 cups and that disappointment 2 years ago, they feel like they have some unfinished business, and now or never really in some ways for Council Rock South to win it all. I don't know if that's really true because Jake Wiener's a junior and he's coming back. They have a lot of seniors, but they still have some good players coming back. Now or never might not be fair, but now's the time, I guess, maybe more accurately, after a couple of close calls in the semifinals and then the Flyers Cup championship game last year. Face-off win for the Springford Rams. What a great Cinderella story. Here comes Nickel, coming off a 4-goal game against Haverford. They won 4-zip. He scored all 4 of them, including a couple of those on the power play. Springford just trying to hold it in the zone a little bit. Nickel takes it out of the corner, a backhander. Oh, very dangerous. Trying to lift that in the upper left corner. And right there on the right shoulder of Trey Prezzello, who hangs on for the save. Broden Nickel in that 4-0 win, 4 goals, 3 of them were on the power play. They went 3 for 8 on the power play in that game against Haverford. And then Grant Olson, I mean, nothing to sneeze at for his shutout. 32 saves, was pretty good holding off the Fords. Shots are 12-3. Sear on the faceoff. It's won by Council Rock South. Golden Hawks with Filipov back there. Good, talented senior. 1 goal and 14 assists for 15 points. Spun all the way down ice by Jake Wiener. Is that icing? It is not. And Valerio pushed it up along the wall, and Springford looking for an exit, and they got one. Chipped all the way back to the Council Rock South side, intercept at center. Sear is in, he has Nickel trailing, hands it off on the point, tapped it over to Valerio, but the pass was broken up, and getting over there, Jake Wiener had a piece of that to deflect it away. Filipov with his feet moving, he can move, dashes around a man, shoved it on net, it was missing a little bit wide on the short side, and shoved away off the paddle of Grant Olson. Now with 5.5 to go in the first period and a 0-0 score. The shots are 12-5 or 12-3 Council Rock South. Springford is in. Chip and a chase there into the corner for Nathan Riley while others were changing. He's trying to hold it in, but he's tripped up there. Falbo trying to narrow down the angle on the other side, but broken up and cleared by Council Rock South. Here they come, a little 2-on-2, trying to weave into the zone. To the high slot, Weston hustling over to break it up, get a piece was Nathan Riley. Tipped over to the corner and chipped out the center. Galati meets Mallon, stick on stick. Couple of guys collide right there in front of the fans over there, and some Council Rock South fans are cheering while Springford emerges into the zone and a shot. Brazillo couldn't hang on to that cleanly, but got enough of it, putting his two hands together and punched away off the blocker and up and out of play, and I think somewhere over into the Council Rock South bench and maybe at the feet or so of head coach Joe Halk, who has his team with a 21-1 record. They three-peated for the Suburban League National Championship, and to do so, they had to rally in the third to defeat Central Bucks South 4-3 when Jeremy Rayer scored a power play goal to tie it, and then Jake Wiener won it 40 seconds later. So three-peating in the Suburban National is a big deal. The Flyers Cup maybe, I think, would be considered an even bigger deal if they can do it. Here comes CR South, tipped off the stick of Grinberg. He rushes up the right wing, and he kind of got blasted over there. Hustling back behind his own goal is Cohen Graff for the Rams of Springford with 4:15 to go in the first. They're hanging tough as best they can. They are absolutely the underdogs, but Grant Olson has been a difference maker, as we might expect. Rooney shoots. Oh, what a save, Olson! And coming in, Grinberg, and deflected away, Olson again. He denied Nate Grinberg right on top of him on the rebound, and I thought his first shot on, the first save on Rooney off the left pad was a dandy, practically pulling the splits. Rooney a backhander, and he put that one on to Grant Olson, hanging on, and Olson is way big time on top of his game, baby. Now with 15 straight saves to begin. Look at this sequence here. And I mean, that's a good shot, aim for the far post, got a piece, but then you've got the trailer in. And that was Olson fighting it off. He got a piece of the second shot, the trailer, Nate Riley cutting in. 15 straight saves to begin for Grant Olson. And again, he is coming off of a 32-save shutout win, 4-0 over Haverford. And this team was down 3-1 in the third in their first round game. They rallied to win in an upset. Filipov in, shot it wide, rebound, and it was missed up high, and Olson got a piece of that one too. Jeremy Rayer right on top of him. And I think that went off the shoulder of Grant Olson and had a piece. So he's entering with speed off of the end boards, out in front. And I think he got a piece of that one on the trailer, Jeremy Rayer. And one of their top guns with 31 goals this year. They're coming on hot, and a save and a rebound goal. They bury it. It's Jeremy Rayer who puts a top shelf on the rebound. Council Rock South breaks through on their 18th shot of the game with 3:23 to go in the first. It is 1-0 Golden Hawks. So right off of the face-off win, the shot from the point and kind of a double tip, but Rayer right there to put it over his glove. I mean, Olson has been great, but he can't stop everything. So Jeremy Rayer, 31 goals on the season, and now another one here in the Flyers Cup, and a 1-0 lead for the Golden Hawks. That's his second goal of the Flyers Cup. He scored their first goal in their first game in the quarterfinals on their 56th shot of the game against Boyertown goaltender Tyler Griffith when they were down 3-0 and broke through with 11 minutes left to make it 3-1. Cutting in, here's Cooper Venezia, number 88. Rolled in down low with 2:40 to go in the first period. So Rayer on the rebound. Boy, getting physical down there. Out in front, and Venezia is going to get shoved away from their goalie, Trey Prazzillo. And a little dangerous jabbing in there with a stick some. They want to protect their goalie here. Well, that's a nice, good little bit of pushback for Springford after giving up the goal, and Council Rock South have been coming and coming with some glorious chances, and they buried one. But is one going to be enough? Council Rock South has to keep it up here, and Springford is showing the urgency now after they're trailing 1-0. Seth Galati, the big guy, is on the faceoff, but it's won by Council Rock South. Daniel Filipoff from back behind his own goal with 2:30 to go in the first period, and pushed up along the boards and out to center. And a nice little swing there by Jacob Cohen as he flicked it over to Rooney and played it over to the right wing corner. He's got Grinberg and Filipov over there. Filipov winding it up. That shot would have missed wide, but Olsen got a blocker on it to knock it away. Trying to center in there for Rooney. Handing it off in the corner, and then Grinberg setting up in front while Rooney chases it down in the right wing corner and kept it on a point. And trying for a little bit of a cycle here for Council Rock South, and looking good actually from behind the goal, centering out in front. That was broken up. Cohen Graff had a piece sent all the way down. It was tipped. The official signals no icing. Hustling back to retrieve, it's Jake Maurer. 1:45 to go in the first. Huge collision in the corner over there with Nathan Riley. Schaefer on the point, bouncing puck behind the goal. Riley just got shoved away pretty hard by big man Jake Maurer. Yeah, Council Rock South not only has some scoring and some talent and some age, they've got some size too. Lead pass goes a little bit behind Dylan Sear, trying to lead him there with Schaefer, but Sear didn't know it was there. Went off the leg of Jake Maurer for CR South and bounced away. They need Broden Nickel to get it going. Nickel, the junior, 20 goals and 32 assists, 52 points this season, and then 4 goals in their second round win over Haverford. Council Rock South will fire it in deep. Counting down to 1 minute to go in the period, and a 1-0 lead for the Golden Hawks. Out in front, goal, walking in and firing it low and home. It's Jeremy Rayer with his second goal of the game. It's 2-0 Council Rock South. Great move to the net. Moved around the defenseman and coming in on that angle, and he shot it low past Grant Olson, who had a little bit of a chunk of it, but not all of it. Nice little dangle around the D, and I think actually that was a little higher than I thought. He might have put that off his arm and in with 57.5 seconds to go in the period. And Rayer with his second goal of the game. It is 2-0 Golden Hawks. Still, I love that move and getting off that shot from that angle. I thought he kept it low at first. Then on the replay, I think maybe he shot it a little higher and it just bounced down off of his arm. Springford wants an answer. Nickel shooting right on. Trey Prazzillo with the save with 49 seconds to go here in the first period. So a pair of goals for one of their top guns, Jeremy Rayer, who had 31 goals in the season, now has 3 goals in the Flyers Cup. And 2 goals today. And it's 2-0 for the Golden Hawks. Chipped up ice. Here comes Jake Wiener. Tries to put a move on. And a nice save on the right pad for Grant Olson. Man, he can move pretty quickly. Dug away Wiener. Tried to carry it out in front. In his skates. Poked away Nickel. Still loose between the circles. And knocked away before they could get off a shot. Jagger Smith was in there. Now Smith shooting off the pads of Olson. He put his glove down, but it was cleared away before he could cover. Council Rock South is threatening. Just a few seconds left in the period, and it comes back out of the neutral zone. Paraburo hands it off, and time for another quick entry. And into the zone, and a shot! It's over the glove of Grant Olson. Another try for Jake Wiener. Springford races away. 5 seconds left in the period. Nickel is in, wanted to hand it off. Venezia didn't make it through. Mallon scooped it up and knocked it away, and that'll do it for the first period. Shots in the first, 23-6 for the 1 seed Council Rock South. A pair of goals for Jeremy Rayer. And it's 2-0 Golden Hawks here after 1 period in the semifinals of the 46th annual Flyers Cup on SFBN on YouTube.
Attention hockey players. The 2025 Keystone State Games Ice Hockey Tournament will be July 25th through 27th, 2025 at Penn State University State College. If you reside in Bucks, Chester, Delaware, Montgomery, or Philadelphia counties, and you are interested in playing in this tournament, please scan the QR code on your screen and pre-register today.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Eldion Padulary in Feasterville, Trevose today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The 2025 Flyers Cup, the 46th annual. Shots in the first period were 23-6. Council Rock South. Grant Olson was terrific. In fact, I think he was better here than in the first game where I saw him. In that come from behind upset win that they had, and they were down 3-1 in the third and rallied to win in overtime 4-3. He was good against Central Buck South, but here today I thought Grant Olson was excellent, but they put a couple of past him. Jeremy Rayer at 3:23 left in the first, and then Rayer again with 57.5 seconds left in the first, and a 2-0 lead for Council Rock South. The winner to go on to the Flyers Cup championship game of the AA bracket, and that would be either on Monday or Wednesday. If it's CR South, I believe they will play the game on Wednesday, and I think it would be here at Hatfield, but they'll announce everything officially in due course. We still have another semifinal to go after this, and well, we still have 34 minutes left in this one in the second and the third. Council Rock South looking to boost on a 2-0 lead. I think it was a lesson learned last week in an exercise in frustration last Thursday when they had put up 55 shots and they were down 3-0 to the Boyertown Bears, and their upset bid effort on some yeoman's work for goaltender Tyler Griffith, but finally Jeremy Rayer broke through with 11:19 left to make it 3-1. I mean, they were down 2-0 going into the room at the intermission between the second and the third. And so they talked to each other, hey, we're better than this. We got all the offense. We're 20-1 for a reason. Let's go score some goals. Then they gave up a goal right away to begin the third, and 2-0 became 3-0. Here's Graff shooting for Springford. Off of a stick, and Sear down low, and a nice save. And Brazillo's got it. Close call for Sear in there. Looking to bury it on Trey Brazillo. It dribbled off the skate, and there was also a chance in there for Patrick Fergus. And he almost gave Springford the initial lead in this game on his breakaway about midway through the first period. So a little bit of a lesson learned, but they regrouped in that game against Boyertown when they were down 3-0, and they rallied to win it 5-3, but that was with an empty netter. Pretty much 4 goals in about 3.5 minutes from 11:19 to go until 7:54 to go. They turned a 3-0 deficit. Finally, after 55 shots without a thing, they scored 4 straight. Sharp angle shot is off the side of the net. Now Olson's got to protect on the rebound, and Wiener there put off his shoulder. Jagger Smith is in there digging for it. Dylan Sear down there along with Cohen Graff trying to win it away. Springford has it and then kind of got in each other's way a little bit. Chopped down, kept in on the blue line. Good hands for Wiener. Over to the right wing corner. Poked up high to the high slot. Fergus trying to reach around Jagger Smith, who stays with it. Dropped it off into the corner and then over to the half boards, and he kept it in, and now he hands it off high slot. Kind of on the wrong side. Weston still with it. They put it in down low off the body of Olson. It's loose, and he comes out somewhat courageously, in my opinion, to cover on that with all of that stick traffic, including Jonah Weston getting in there. So Grant Olson still giving his team a chance. And remember, this Springford team in their first game, they were down 3-1 in the third, and so they were used to being behind as a big underdog when they were playing the 5 seed Central Buck South. They were behind fairly late in that game with 8 minutes left. They rallied to tie it. So as long as they stay close, and they have had a couple of chances on Brazillo they feel like they can give themselves an opportunity as long as they keep it close here. Riley into the zone in the corner, bumped off the puck, centering pass looking for Falbo from Galati, didn't make it through, and broken up, and here comes Council Rock South hustling back the other way. Huge collision in there as Riley got blasted a little bit by Jordan Sarney. Council Rock South centered for Mosley, and he shot it high. Lurking there to the left dot practically was Jackson Mosley. Mosley keeps it and peels it around Galati. Dropped it to the point on a long shot, swallowed in. Quickly, briefly juggled and then hung on by Grant Olson. Then a couple pushes and shoves. Sarney is getting his nose dirty in there a little bit and making a pest of himself with 14:49 to go in the second period and a 2-0 lead for Council Rock South. It's been a really enjoyable Flyers Cup tournament so far, and we talk about the high school hockey chaos, the 2 weeks of chaos, and anything can happen. Springford is the perfect example of that. Now, if they don't come back in this one, then the Cinderella story comes to a close here tonight. But for the last team in to make a run to the semifinals like they've done, it's already a great story, and they're not done yet. And here comes Falbo. Gets past Peterborough. He's in on goal, shooting. Rebound, Riley. Denied, Brazillo. Brazillo with a couple of dandies there on kind of a 2-on-1 for Springford. Now here comes Council Rock South, broken up. Hustling back, Valerio got a piece. Springford, Riley dangled it around Peterborough. Riley hustling in, shot, and it's deflected off the shoulder of Brazillo on the drive by Schaefer on the move, and then it touched the safety netting over the end glass and out of play. Yeah, he just dangled it right around him and in. A great save on the right pad for Brazillo on Falbo, and then Nathan Riley was in there tight on the left of the cage trying to poke it in. And Trey Brazillo, 16-0 this year, scooted over and kept that one out as well. Springford getting a couple of chances, and they're going to throw their top line out there right now. Dylan Sear is on the draw. Broden Nickel, who had 4 goals in their last game, and Sear, who had the overtime winner in that upset in the first round. Now Wiener and Council Rock South emerge, and a shot punched away nicely. Grant Olson with another good save. I'm telling you, Council Rock South is getting off some good shots here. 24 saves on 26 shots for Grant Olson. Shots in the game are 26-11, but shots in the period favor Springford 5-3. Kind of whiffed on right there between the circles as it dribbled off the stick of Fergus. And now Fergus chasing it down to the right wing corner off the glass. Handoff, Broden Nichols centered out in front. Nobody home. All the way to the blue line. Graff shot. Rebound. Chipped in. Score. It deflected through on Brazillo. And a long shot for the point by Colin Graff. And the Springford Rams are on the board. So way back on the point. And Graff's shot maybe through a little bit of traffic as he blocked it down to the backhand on center point. Yeah, there's a little bit of traffic there. It dribbled behind him and it goes in. And I think the goal goes for Graff. Sears, somebody was there on the side trying to jab it in, but I think it already went in across the line beforehand. So number 20, Cohen Graff, with 13:35 left in the second period. Springford on the board, and they have bounced back here in the second period, out shooting Council Rock South. You take the 2-0 lead, maybe you take your foot off the gas a little bit. Well, this could certainly wake them up, and the 1 seed bouncing back into this thing. Here's Mallon. Shoved it up along the boards, looking for Rayer with both of the goals for Council Rock South, but cut off by Dylan Sear, the little speedster who shoots it in deep. Chased down behind their own goal by Wesley Mallon. Council Rock South 2, the 12 seed Springford Rams 1, and getting one of them back after they were kind of under siege for most of the first period, but significantly more even here in the second. Sarney to the red line, dumped it in deep. No icing, he was in front of the red line. William Schaefer, and that was stolen but broken up. Hustling over to help support and whack it out of there was Valerio. Out of the neutral zone, and Council Rock South backpedaling there is Jordan Sarney with 20 goals this year. Into the zone, Mosley dashes around Valerio. Now down to the corner. They were tangled a little bit, but he stayed on his skates. He didn't fall. Looked like he was going to for a second there. Sarney and Mosley, two big bodies, knocking down a man for spring forward Venezia. They're still fighting for it. He lost his stick over there, trying to kick it over there soccer style. Yes, indeed, that is allowed. And Sarney still fighting for it, comes out of the blue line. Mallon on the point, shoots it a mile wide. And that also allows Mosley time to go pick up his stick behind the goal. Kept it at the right point and rolled around the boards on the cycle to keep it in for Luke Ralston. And then back out to center. Mallon has got a shove back there. Heacock in, emerging is Schaefer, and he's in at the right wing, shooting right on Prezillo. He'll put the squeeze on it, hang on, and take the face-off in his own zone. With 11:48 to go in the second period. Council Rock South with a pair of goals in the first period and out shooting Springford 23-6 in the first. But the shots in the second favor the Rams of Springford. 7-3 are the shots in the second period. So we've got to turn the tables a little bit. Springford was on its heels a little bit there on that last push, but now with an offensive zone face-off, and they've been getting some pucks through on a Trey Prezillo. So knocking on the door, and they feel like, hey, this is our time to shine and come back and tie it, but it's not going to happen. Not on that one. Here comes Rooney in, almost a 2-on-1. He's shooting, deflected off a stick, and it goes on into the glove of Grant Olson when it was deflected by sophomore defenseman Isaac Bystol. And so now, and sometimes this becomes a territorial game too. You'll take an offensive zone face-off whenever you can get it. So even if the shot itself isn't necessarily the best try, if the goaltender is forced to take a whistle and a face-off in his own zone, you've won a little bit of the territorial battle, at least for the time being. Here's Brendan Rooney, the sophomore on the face-off for Council Rock South. It was won by Springford, rolled around the boards, and Nathan Riley up there, who has had a couple of close calls right there on top of Trey Prezillo. Then it was a long shot from the point that got through by Cohen Graff from center point when he scored that. All right, cut off and coming right back in. Here comes Council Rock South again. Almost kept it in the blue line. Filipoff had to hustle back and pick up that spinner. Long drive way in front of the red line for Jake Maurer. And Grant Olson read that one and punched it away. Down in the corner, Jacob Cohen. Now physical battle for it. This has been a physical game. Really battling for the pucks along the boards. And Springford doing what they can, although, a little bit of a size disadvantage on some of these matchups. Not with this guy over there, though, Bystol, but it was flipped out in front and then whacked away by Falbo on the backhand, stolen by Council Rock South. Filipoff is in, got a little, signals crossed a little bit there with his teammate Jacob Cohen. So they'll just reset back in their own zone, and here comes Filipoff. He can motor, got jabbed a little bit there on a hook. He scores! What a shot! A hammer and a snipe to the upper left corner for the senior D-man, Daniel Filipoff. He can shoot it, and it's 3-1, Council Rock South. Oh, that was a snipe. Would you believe Filipoff has one goal all year, even with a shot like that? And we can see him move. He even got hooked almost a little bit. Wind it up and shoot right over the right shoulder of Grant Olson with 10:26 left. It is 3-1 Council Rock South. They regain the momentum on a snipe on the rush for Daniel Filipoff. That was a shot. And again, he's a guy that doesn't score. He had one goal all season. Peter Paraboro on the point. 3-1 Council Rock South. Counting down to 10 minutes even to go in the second period. The Golden Hawks trying to go to the Flyers Cup Championship game for a second straight season. Here's Paraboro, peels back on the right boards. His pass was deflected. Comes back out to center. And on his horse, Wesley Mallon. They'll start it up again. Shots are 29-13. Council Rock South, pretty even in the second after the big lopsided numbers in the first. Jagger Smith kept Schaefer from clearing. Staying with it though, William Schaefer connects with a friend with a lead pass. He couldn't quite handle it. Broden Nickel had hit off his tape, deflected away, and right back in. Wiener swings and misses, dribbles on to Olsen. It's loose and swept away over to the boards. And it's getting way feisty in there. Somebody even lost a glove. So, yeah, we got to blow the whistle and be careful in there so nobody has any real dangers. Boy, Grant Olson put his hand down to try to cover on that, and he couldn't quite find the handle. And very dangerous in the low slot and between the circles, and Council Rock South coming very close to parrying another one on that sequence. 9:23 to go in the second period, 3-1 for the 1 seed. Turnaround shot deflected, loose between the circles. They got there first, look to clear. Nicely kept in. Filipov will try it again. Olsen didn't see it at all. He was screened, but the shot whistled high on a big crank there. Filipov's feeling it now after he scored 1 goal, and he had a good shot from the blue line, trying for another. Hands it off and a cross-ice pass. Rayer with 2 goals out in front. Sarney shoots wide, diving down Grant Olsen. Oh, and they shoved him down. Dylan Sear got a good hard hit on a man after the whistle. And he said, hey, he was still hitting on me here and blasting on me. But Dylan Sear will get taken to the box. And Council Rock South will go on the power play. It's a cross check that goes on Dylan Sear. This is our first penalty of the game, believe it or not. I mean, he just whiffed on it, cutting across. It kind of rolled off of his stick on that try for Jordan Sarney. It was, he almost scored that past Grant Olsen after he'd kind of been tumbling around there. Power play coming up. And as you would expect of a team that went 20-1 on the season, yeah, they can score on the power play. Rayer has 10 power play goals among his 31 total. Jake Wiener, 9 power play goals among his 44 total. Jordan Sarney has 20 goals total. Here comes Wiener after a quick clear for Springford. Of course, Springford scored shorthanded in overtime to win it in round 1, so it could be a shorthanded threat, although it's Dylan Sear in the box who scored that shorty. Getting really physical and feisty. Escalating between the circles. Play continues. Sharp angle shot, and it goes right through the blue. Boy, it is getting rough in there. Jake Maurer and Nick Valerio were mixing it up. They come apart. They're letting them get away with it some. They're not calling, little ticky-tack penalties. They're letting them play and saying, look, back off and be smart here. And now that was Broden Nickel who lost his stick on the PK. And so while he retrieves briefly a 5-on-3 while he hustles back, and Council Rock South can't quite take advantage. Here's a shot that's blocked by one of his teammates in front on a drive by Wiener. Picked up, cleared, and hit off the linesman back there. He tried to slam it all the way down ice. 1 minute to go on the power play and 8 minutes remaining in the second period. 3-1. Council Rock South winding, shooting while a man taken down in front of the goalie, Grant Olsen. Valerio's taking a beating there. And there's Olsen, who does not care for Peter Paraboro, just staying on top of him. He's telling Paraboro, if you really didn't mean it, maybe you would show greater urgency trying to get off of my teammate. So it is absolutely escalating here. And the officials are telling Grant Olsen, to mind your P's and Q's a little bit. The officials don't want to decide this game, and I give them credit here. But at some point, they're going to maybe have to start calling some of these shoves and pushes because it is certainly continuing and developing and escalating. But again, and you can kind of sense it on both teams as well. Physical and feisty and aggressive, but neither side wants to take a costly penalty. Dylan Sear was frustrated when he got called for the cross-check, and then he kind of stopped, went to the box, doesn't want to take an extra penalty. It's just too important here to let your emotions end up deciding the game. Council Rock South shoots it in deep. 43 seconds left on the power play. 3-1 for the Golden Hawks. Mallon on the point. Sharp angle shot. Jagger Smith just shot that right around the boards pretty much, and he shot it high on the right point. Handling it over there is Filipov with a goal. A shot looking for a deflection and knock the stick out of the hands of one of the players. And so, yeah, one of their penalty killers out in front does not have a stick, namely Valerio, playing without a stick. And there's another Springford player who took a tumble there. Yeah, Springford does look smaller, and some of their smaller guys are getting pushed around and taking some shots here a little bit. Falbo took a hard tumble in there as well. And as the puck goes out of play, Springford changes on its penalty kill. 19 seconds to go on the power play for Council Rock South. 7:19 left in the second, and a 3-1 lead for CR South. 2 goals in the first for Jeremy Rayer, a goal in the second for Daniel Filipov. In between was Cohen Grass drive from center point. They got the Springford Rams on the board when they had some momentum they were building early second period. Standing all around the glass and over on the top row as well. The fans of both schools, the favored Council Rock South Golden Hawks and the underdog and upstart Spring-Ford Rams. Council Rock South coughed it up across the line and cross ice. Nickel couldn't quite chop that down. Dylan Sear out of the box. They got their top line out there looking to get one of them back. And that pass in for Sarney. And he's in again for Council Rock South and around the boards behind goaltender Grant Olson back there. Rayer with 2 goals steps up, but it's pushed back out to the neutral zone. Filippov dodges away from the forechecker there in the pursuit of Broden Nickel, and now broken up in the neutral zone. Good work for Fergus to anticipate and knock it in. Venezia steps up there. He's got Nickel with him. Too much traffic. Sarney on the intercept, and Council Rock South. Here they come. Rayer is in. Shooting, and a nice shot. Grant Olson with a good one off the right pad. Rayer had a good shot on the move. Out in front, Mosley right off of Olson. And off the body, bounces out of the point, the captain. A long drive for Maurer off the right pad of Grant Olson. Now it's target practice, but coughing it up. Ralston, a swing and a miss. Peacock and Springford are in. Cross ice pass beyond the reach of Broden Nickel. Chased it down along the left wall and rolled around the board. Schaefer can't touch it. Delayed offside and went behind the blue line. Stolen back by Council Rock South. Poked back to the Rams side. Gobbled up Fergus. And here comes Rebarzik. And he's in and shoots it around the wall. And they're going in there trying to win it on these harder rounds and these dump-ins, but good retrievals. Now a steal with Falbo up there. Jabbing it away from Ralston, and a shot all the way through onto Brazillo. And another player, Falbo, gets knocked down. Heacock gets a shove on a man. Mosley doesn't care for it. The officials doing their best to separate these guys. Maurer wants to get his teammate away and out of there. And this is what I'm talking about before. They're trying to stay cool and not take penalties here, but Mosley was a little hot, and then he's even said something to the Springford bench on his way off. But both sides, you know, and really the slightly larger Council Rock South team, don't blame them for being physical. And if you got a guy that's screening your goalie, yeah, shove him around. Galati brings a little bit of size here for Springford, and Seth Galati will be on the faceoff. The shots are now 33-14, Council Rock South. Shots in the period 10-8, Council Rock South. Pretty even, and the score on the period is 1-1 after it was 2-0 for the Golden Hawks in the first. Here come the Hawks, and wheeling in the zone, protecting the puck, and out in front, side of the net. Jabbed away Olson, bouncer between the circles. Springford got it. The Rams, Riley, and all the way across to Falbo, and he's in on a little lead pass. Schaefer to the right wing. Allen picked him up, centering, and it's off of Brazillo. Poked at him there by Galati, and Trey Brazillo, while he's kind of falling back on his duff, he puts the squeeze on it, and he hangs on with 4:55 to go in the second period. And now is a little dangerous rush in transition for Springford, trying to make it a 1-goal game yet again. The winner of this one to meet the winner of the 2 versus 3 matchup. 2-seed North Penn Knights are 19-3. 3-seed Downingtown East Cougars are 15-6. North Penn is the only team to have beaten Council Rock South this year. So will we get a rematch? North Penn beat Council Rock South on February 5th, 5-3. That ends a 15-game win streak for Council Rock South. And then they just kept on going and winning it all the way, including their 3rd straight Suburban League National Championship. And now they want to keep it going and finish the job as the number 1 seed and win the Flyers Cup too. Cleared out of there by Council Rock South. That is an icing violation, and you know, now kind of settling down a little bit after we were, you know, had some big chances and physicality, and guys getting a little rocked in there too. Now a little bit of time for them to collect themselves, catch their breath, and Springford an offensive zone faceoff. Sierra wins it for Nickel, and he shot it wide. Any offensive zone faceoff gives you a chance. 3-1. Council Rock South kept it on the point, and a shot wide. Dylan Sear cutting in there, trying to turn that into a shot pass, and he couldn't quite reach. That drive from the point by Isaac Bystol. Tangle up for the puck along the boards in the corner. pushed up on the wall. Council Rock South got it out of there and good work. And then Wiener chipped it up there, but Nickel chased it down. Spring for it again with Beistel. And a little tip there. Graff, who has their only goal, knocked over there a little bit by Wiener, but rotating in behind to support is Nickel. Stepping up, Jagger Smith causing headaches. Broden Nickel will try it back the other way, and here he comes. Nickel to their own line, backhander, a little soft with a lot of ice to get that pass to go through. Really didn't have much of a chance with that much ice. He saw his teammate there, but that was a pickoff. Council Rock South is in. Filipov with a goal and looking for another shot at wide from the side and chipped in front on that drive from way over on the right of the cage by Jonah Weston. Filipov shoots it in down low and a backhander elevated over his shoulder. Jake Wiener put it over the shoulder of Grant Olson. Council Rock South coming close, and they get another one here, and that is real trouble for Springford. Here's Wiener, and he's out there with Rayer with 2 goals today. It rolled on to Grant Olson. He spotted it off the side of the net, and he's got it. And then a little more extra shoves after the whistle with Patrick Fergus and Jake Wiener in the same area and same space. Not particularly caring for each other either. Yeah, both of these teams playing with all kinds of snarl. I mean, that's the playoff intensity that you would expect here, especially in the semifinals of the Flyers Cup, and you got a heavy favorite against a big underdog story too. Mallon a long shot, save, oh, that's trouble. Grant Olson poked it away, but it was kind of bouncing on his teammate over there. Valerio couldn't quite find the handle. Sarney in, getting the angle there on him, Galati, and so shot wide by Sarney. Comes out of the other side and kept in by Peter Paraburo over there. Paraburo is a senior D-man with 6 goals this year. To the blue line, shooting through a little bit of a screen and into the chest of Grant Olson between the pipes. That shot a little upstairs from Paraburo, ripping it from the blue line. Shots are 36-17, Council Rock South, 3-1 lead. And the Golden Hawks are knocking on the door. Sarney on the faceoff, and he wins that. Mosley tried to put it on, hit off a leg. Side of the net, trying to center out in front, Rayer, but it sailed right through the slot. Kept it on the point, hustling over there, Mosley. Council Rock South is kind of wearing him down. Out in front and hustling over there to block the shot and feeling it on that drive by Sarney. Schaefer got a piece of that to protect his goaltender, Grant Olson. Now Schaefer picked it up and carries it away. Rushing up the right wing into the zone, cutting in for the middle. Wanted to dangle through the D. Rolled off of his stick and over to the corner. Still fighting for it in there. Foul ball on the other side. Venezia trying to lift the stick there of Rayer, who stays with it. Here they come. 2-on-1. Sarney with Mosley. He shoots. Nice save, maybe off the knob of the stick there for Grant Olson to deny Jordan Sarney, the junior, with 20 goals this year. Takes the shot himself. 2-on-1. There was a defenseman hustling back and trailing, trying to break it up if it had slowed down at all. So he's at least hurrying them along. And he's ready to turn that into a 2-on-2 if that should happen. 1:58 to go in the second. Another face-off here in the offensive zone for Council Rock South. And they feel like this is destined to be their year, but it's going to be an absolute war with North Penn if both teams should make it through in their semifinal games. And, you know, in the next game, Downingtown East is going to have something to say about that. Well, he had a tough time staying on his skates there. You know, really choppy ice, and we'll do the Zamboni cut coming up between periods 2 and 3. It's a 3-1 lead for Council Rock South, but Springford on the attack can't even get anything set up for a shot. They had a nice little push early second period, but Council Rock South has certainly buttoned things up after they took their foot off the gas a little bit here at the beginning of the second when they were up 2-0. Sear is in again. Here comes Fergus. Sear shooting. Save of the right pad, Prezillo. Rebound, backhander, not enough on that for Patrick Fergus. Then he just put it off the side of the net. Kept it on the right point and rolled in down low. Filipov scoots back there. Pushed it around the boards, banking it up there. Wiener chipped it up, ice. Breakaway, in on goal. He shot it high. Jonah Weston on the chip up there from Jake Wiener. But he had a D right on his heels, so forcing really a hurried shot. And I think the puck was bouncing on him, and that's how it went upstairs like that. 45 seconds left in the period. Filipov for Council Rock South. Carries in front of his goaltender, Trey Prezillo now. Rushing across all 3 lines into the zone. Over to his right, pass Beistel, shoots it on the pads, and a rebound right on to Grant Olson. And now Wiener knocked down a man, Sear. And he's hearing about it from Grady Heacock. And I mean, we're kind of on the verge here. We got, guys just trying to turn the other cheek because it is a close game. We've only had one penalty called in this game, and I'm telling you, it is some pretty feisty stuff, but the officials want to let them play. That's playoff hockey, baby. Well, the face-off was won by Council Rock South, then Venezia had it for Springford. Heacock comes up with a big collision over there and pushed out to center. Grinberg right back in. Whipped around the boards, just 20 seconds left in the period. Stepping up is Mosley, and there's Schaefer coming up with it behind the Springford goal. 10 seconds left, maybe time to get off a shot. He's in the zone to the right wing, shoots over the shoulder, over the head really, of Trey Prezillo, and that'll do it. Second period is over. Springford is trying to hang around as best they can. Well, they're still in this game. And you go back to their first round game, they were down 3-1 in the third. And they rallied with goals with 8 minutes left and 1:02 left to force overtime. So Springford can go into the room and say, hey, this is just going to be a repeat of our round one game. That thrilling upset come from behind overtime win that they had against Central Bucks South. Council Rock South was down 3-0 in the third period of their first game back in the quarterfinals against Boyertown. They were down 2-0 at the intermission. They were ready to come out charging, and then Boyertown scored instead to make it 3-0. Council Rock South in much better shape than they were in their game last week in the quarterfinals. They're up 3-1, but they haven't finished the deal yet. They're 17 minutes away from another date in the Flyers Cup Championship game. The 1 seed Council Rock South Golden Hawks, 2 goals for Jeremy Rayer, and a second period snipe on the rush, and a beauty of a shot for Daniel Filipoff against the Springford Rams. And with a lone goal from center point on a drive for senior Cohen Graff. It is the 1 seed Council Rock South Golden Hawks leading the upset-minded 12-seed Springford Rams 3-1 after 2 periods. Now our intermission, and we have a few spots to get in here, and we'll come back. Third period action in the AA semifinals of the 46th annual Flyers Cup forthcoming. Bob Rotrug here with you from Hatfield Ice World in Colmar, Pennsylvania. Thanks for joining us for exclusive coverage of the Flyers Cup on YouTube, presented by SFBN.
Hi, I'm Marty Bystrom, former pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. In my experience in Major League Baseball, I know how important it is for high school athletes to gain exposure. My friends at Payroll Service Solutions are huge supporters of high school sports and the Sports Fan Base Network. If you are a small to medium-sized business in need of a payroll company, contact Payroll Service Solutions. Not only will they take care of you, they will continue to support the community. For more information, contact Payroll Service Solutions at 215-624-0922 or 866-PAY-EASY.
Bluestein, Michael & Company, certified public accountants, believe that your bottom line is as important to them as it is to you. Why? Because they care about the things that you care about. Whereas most accountants can take your numbers and put them on financial statements and tax returns, Bluestein and Michael work with you through the year to help you solve problems by providing sound professional advice. They enable you to make key business decisions, and they are with you throughout the entire year, not just tax time. Bluestein and Michael are not just hired hands. They are part of your team, and they provide professional service when you need it most. Bluestein and Michael specialize in accounting, tax, and consulting services for small businesses, primarily for the construction industry. If you're looking for yes men, hire someone else. But if you want sound advice from service-oriented CPAs, then you'll want to call Bluestein and Michael at 215-635-3200. That's Bluestein and Michael at 215-635-3200.
Hey Flyers fans, baseball's right around the corner. Your Trenton Thunder begin their jam-packed season with an opening night celebration on Wednesday, June 4th. Dress your tie-dye best with your fellow Deadheads at Grateful Dead Night on June 6th. Join Bat Dog's Rookie and Dash during Bat Dog Celebration on June 25th. And honor America's birthday with 4th of July at the ballpark. Daily deals return with Kids Eat Free Tuesdays, Dollar Hot Dog Wednesdays, Thirsty Thursdays, Cases Pork Roll Fridays, and Fireworks Select Thursdays and Saturdays. There's something going on at every game in 2025. Get your tickets at TrentonThunder.com.
Do you know what a blue hen is? It's prideful, spirited, fiery. A blue hen never backs down from a challenge. And we're there to support them. Delaware Orthopedic Specialist, the official orthopedic partner of University of Delaware Athletics.
Haddon Planning Group is an independent financial advisory firm serving all Flyers fans across the country. Located in Pennsylvania since 1981, we will offer a free financial plan to all parents of student athletes participating in the Flyers Cup. For more information about our services, go to haddonplanning.com or call Jake Reardon at 856-428-5300.
Attention hockey players. The 2025 Keystone State Games Ice Hockey Tournament will be July 25th through 27th, 2025 at Penn State University State College. If you reside in Bucks, Chester, Delaware, Montgomery, or Philadelphia counties, and you are interested in playing in this tournament, please scan the QR code on your screen and pre-register today.
Hey fans, the Sports Fanbase Network is offering player shoutouts on every Flyers Cup game live stream. Give your favorite player their 15 seconds of fame. Just send $25 via Venmo or Cash App to the SFBN. Then you send an email to thesfbn@gmail.com with the name and team of your player, a high-resolution photo, and a 1 to 2 line script for the SFBN commentators to read. Once the payment and email is completed, SFBN will reply to confirm receipt, and you will see your player shout-out at least once per game played. So send out a player shout-out for every Flyers Cup broadcast here on the Sports Fanbase Network.
Double-A action in the 46th Annual Flyers Cup, presented exclusively on SFBN on YouTube and presented by Top Shelf Sports and Apparel. Check it out online at topshelfhockeyswag.com, and that convenient QR code on there as well. Bob Rotrug rejoining you from Hatfield Ice Rink in Colmar, Pennsylvania. And inside the Chili Barn, the action heating up, and so are the emotions and the adrenaline. And the 1 seed, Council Rock South Golden Hawks, leading the upset-minded 12 seed Springford Rams. It is 3-1 Council Rock South. Shots after 2 periods, Council Rock South 39, Springford 17. Shots in the first were 23-6, shots in the second 16-11. Jeremy Rayer with a pair of goals in the first period. With 3:23 left, they finally broke through on their 18th shot of the game after 17 saves to start by Grant Olson, who's been great, by the way. 36 saves on 39 shots, giving his team a chance. Here's a shot over the glove of Grant Olson. Cohen Graff from center point got Springford on the board with 13:35 left in the second period. Made it 2-1. Daniel Filipov with a beauty of a snipe on the rush made it 3-1 with 10:26 left. Both teams trading some strong chances on each side since then. Here's Trey Prezillo between the pipes for Council Rock South with 16 saves on 17 shots. The 1 seed with a record 21-1. Jagger Smith had it hit him on the skates. And now from behind the goal, in after it down there is Broden Nickel, who had that 4-goal game in their 4-0 win over Haverford, but he couldn't find the handle. Jake Wiener rushing back the other way. Valerio reaching there, got him. Jagger Smith from the side of the net. Schaefer blocked that effort, goes into the corner. Out in front, Grant Olson was wise to it and poked it away. Pretty dangerous from the corner. Weston kept it in. Schaefer scoops it up for Springford. Still getting physical, and out in front, he scored. Stuffed it in on the right skate side of Grant Olson. It's a goal for Jonah Weston. 4-1, Council Rock South. And I think that Grant Olson thought the puck was going back the other way. He wasn't sure where it was, and all of a sudden, look, he's looking the wrong way. He had no idea. He really didn't. He got fooled, and they kind of faked him out, and he thought it was over in the other corner. Jonah Weston with his first goal of the Flyers Cup. The senior who had 8 goals on the season. And it is 4-1 for Council Rock South, and they're looking awfully good for another day in the Flyers Cup championship game. And this time to play either North Penn or Downingtown East. Last year they went to the final, and they lost to the champion Penridge Rams 7-3. Here they come in again, past the D, shooting. Also the save, and a nice one. Dandy. Council Rock South bidding for another on the move. And Grant Olson with another nice save. And, well, that goal for Jonah Weston and Council Rock South kind of feeling it, I think. Now that they're up 4-1, they can't breathe too easy yet, but I think some of the fans breathing a little bit easier. Sarney is on the faceoff. Only 1 penalty called in this game so far. Bouncing away from Filipov and back out to center, waving a stick out. It is Riley up there with Falbo. Just trying to cause some chaos, but Rayer with 2 goals today is right back in. Took a little bit of a push from Nathan Riley. Springford trying to find the clear. Nice keep by Mosley. Walking in front, a shot, a save, rebound, he buried it. And it's a hat trick for Jeremy Rayer. On the rebound, Jeremy Rayer rifles it through for the trifecta. His 4th hat trick of the year. 5-1, Council Rock South. Boy, that was some good work there by a couple of players, keeping it in the zone, including Jackson Mosley. And the shot by Sarney fought off by Olson, but Rayer right there to bury it. And they score 2 goals, 49 seconds apart, and take a fairly slim 3-1 lead and open it up to 5-1 now. Penalty coming up. Springford player got a man and tripped him up. Filipov in the zone. Goaltender pulled, delayed penalty, 6-on-5 here for Council Rock South, and touched by Springford for possession. And it's getting feisty. And it's getting away from Springford. They can feel it slipping away. Tripping penalty will allow the Golden Hawks of Council Rock South to embark on their second power play of the game. Dylan Sear takes the penalty again. He's the only one who sat in the box for either side all game long. So Springford with this fabulous Cinderella run as the last team in the tournament of the 12 seed, but now it's not looking so good for the Rams. Council Rock South wants another. Comes back out to center as it deflected off of a stick, and here come the Golden Hawks again. Schaefer got there ahead of Weston. Takes it back behind the goal, banged it around the wall, finds Fergus, and cleared it out of there. 48, Patrick Fergus, the junior, had a breakaway fairly early in the first period, almost gave Springford the initial lead after a number of nice saves by Olson. Cut in front, Jagger Smith had a close call, and Olson got a piece of that. Council Rock South knocking on the door and wanting more. Out shooting Springford 43-17. 5-1 lead. And 2 goals back-to-back here in the third to help out the cause and help break it wide open, really. And the puck back and forth, I think, going behind the blue line for an offside violation with 14:05 to go in the third. So a Springford win would put a Council Rock South win would put the Golden Hawks at 22-1 on the season. Their one loss that ended a 15-game win streak back in January to North Penn, and that's the 2 seed who they could potentially meet in the Flyers Cup Championship game, which I believe would be slated for next Wednesday. They'll have an official announcement on that. Another collision in the corner, another player takes a tumble, and still getting a little violent out there. We might have another penalty coming here. Let me see. So they have a high sticking called on Springford Valerio. It's going to be a 5-on-3 now for Council Rock South. For 1:09, they get the 5-on-3. And I mean, go back to their game last week in the quarterfinals in a 1-versus-9. And that was a struggle. That was a battle. They were down 3-0 in the third. And the 1 seed was on the verge of getting knocked out before they scored 4 times in about 4 minutes to turn a 3-0 deficit to a 4-3 lead, and then an empty netter at the end to finish off Boyertown 5-3. But man, I mean, they were in real trouble against Boyertown goaltender Tyler Griffith. And this Flyers Cup dream almost ended before it even got going, and even before it started. Mosley weaves into the zone and hands it off there to Sarney, who assisted on their last goal. Sarney on the blue line and got it back from Mosley. Center point, 5-on-3. Mosley, and he scores! Mosley from the top of the right circle to the upper left corner. Senior Jackson Mosley. 6-1, Council Rock South. That was a great shot there by Jackson Mosley from the top of the left circle. 5-on-3 goal with 13:15 to go. It's 3 goals in 2.5 minutes and a 3-1 lead. That felt a little too close for comfort, and they have blown it wide open with 3 straight, and now it is 6-1 Council Rock South. This explosive offense. That was a 5-on-3 goal, so they still get more power play time. 1:20 to go on the power play. Here comes CR South in. A great run for Springford, but now, they kind of know what their fate is here. Schaefer tried to chip it up. It's kept in now. Graff, who has their only goal today, kept in on the boards by Weston. Weston bouncing around with it, and he scored the first of this 3 in a row. Weston shot it over the right shoulder of Grant Olson, who, by the way, has been great, even though he's given up 6. 38 saves on 44 shots and some real dandies in there. Broden Nickel wanted to backhand it out of there. It was cut off by Filipov. Now back to Nickel. We'll try it again, this time right up the middle, and needs a little help from Schaefer to find the exit. He got it. Dylan Sear wanted to tap it up there for Schaefer. Broken up by Council Rock South with 28 seconds to go on the power play. Sear, who had that shorthanded overtime winner in their huge comeback and upset win of Central Bucks South in round 1, 5-versus-12. And he had that clear. 15 seconds left in the high-sticking penalty against Nick Valerio. Here comes Grinberg into the zone of the left wing. Cut in on down, and a shot to save Olsen. Still kind of loose between the circles, and finding the handle and the clear. Patrick Fergus slots it out of there. Out of the box, Valerio. We're back to 5-on-5. Council Rock South with the 5-on-3 goal is now 1 for 3 on the power play. And the shots are 44-17. And in this period, the shots are 5-0. And they have 3 goals on those 5 shots. One of them's on a rebound. Here's Grinberg in. Venezia back there, tied him up. And pushed out to center and all the way back, rolling on its edge and tumbling and carried back in behind his own goal. Scooped up by Luke Ralston. Springford pursuing and crashing and banging in there. Cohen had it. Venezia had a little jab on him, poked up along the wall, kept it on the blue line. Graf shooting off the shoulder. Little punch try for Venezia as Brazillo, I think, lost sight of it briefly. Graf shoots it a little wide past the waving backhand glove attempt there of Brazillo. Big hit in there. Charging in was Beistol, who crunched into a man, and now a penalty is coming up. And one of the Springford players got knocked down. Heacock knocked down there, and Jacob Cohen coming up to him. And I think we're taking, I thought it might have been against Council Rock South, and it is. Springford will get its first power play of the game here. Yeah, the referees want to restore a bit more order here, especially with the score having gone this direction. Now 6-1, Council Rock South, but I think it was an interference signal, and it goes against Peter Parabaro. Off the face-off for their first power play of the game for Springford, but it's carried away. Sarney rushes past a man. A little tangled up there, so down in the corner, dropped it off, and he actually whipped it all the way back out of the neutral zone. They'll dish over and then distribute all the way down, and it's right on to goaltender Olsen, and the handoff for Sears. So that effectively killed a little more clock. Long lead pass. Schaefer couldn't really get a piece. Sails all the way down. No icing. Filippov back there. Schaefer and Valerio narrow the angle. They tried to swing it out of there in midair. Kept in on the point by Sear. Maurer emerges. 2 Springford players in the wrong place at the wrong time, smacked into each other, and Council Rock South clears it out to the neutral zone. Fergus banked it forward. Sear. Centering pass was tipped, so it goes behind Schaefer and jabbed away and up ice. And some contact there. Valerio with Maurer, who got an extra shot for good measure and a shove in on Broden Nickel. 1 minute to go on the power play, 10 minutes even to go in the game. It is 6-1 for the 1 seed, Council Rock South Golden Hawks. Nickel is in, shooting, and deflected off the stick of Maurer. Bounces around to the right point, Dylan Sear. High slot, Fergus shooting, and maybe off of a leg, and I think Maurer had a piece of that and knocked it wide. And then it's pushed out to center and rushing up ice. And here comes Wiener in, around a man, shorthanded, shooting onto Olsen, and the save. Well, they were catching Springford on a change there on that power play. And Jake Wiener, you know, is sort of a one-on-one or one-on-two even, but still very dangerous, and got off a good shot. Grant Olsen, good rebound control, swallow that one in and hangs on. 40 seconds left in the power play, and 9:35 to go in the third period. 6-1. Council Rock South, and a hat trick for Jeremy Rayer leading the way. Lead pass goes off the stick of Ralston all the way in deep. Riley and Galati are in after it. Up around the boards, Beistol dangled a little bit on the blue line, carries to the half boards, looking for an open shot. Put it in on the short side there, off the skates of Nathan Riley, and trying to hang on to it, but got wrestled down to the ice, getting help from Galati while they're tumbled over. Galati out in front. Brazillo reaching over, might have had a piece, and picked up by Wiener and cleared all the way down. As Jake Wiener shoots it all the way down ice, and now it's actually into the glove of Grant Olsen, and with some pressure there, he was forced to hang on actually. So a face-off in his own zone with 2 seconds left on that Springford power play, and the draw comes all the way back to the Rams side. 8:57 to go in the game. And Springford has been feeling like this is their year. They knew they were going to be good this season, and they weren't wrong. North Penn, you know, it's been a little while in the making. Last year as a 12 seed, and the year before not even in the Flyers Cup for a couple years. It's a magical season for North Penn, And they're very aware of what's happening here. And North Penn against Downingtown East is coming up next. And Downingtown East, the Cougars have had a strong Flyers Cup tradition in their past as well, including a three-peat, a little less than a decade ago. They've had some great runs. They've got another good team this year, so should be a doozy in game 2. This one, though, looks like Council Rock South is in pretty good shape with 8:20 to go in the third and a 6-1 lead and a Jeremy Rayer hat trick. And here they come running again. Little 3-on-2. Trying to put it in the middle there for Mosley or Rooney. Didn't make it through on that pass from Sarney. Graff is back in for Springford. Had his stick kind of held up some. Bystol picks it up, shooting off the glove. Rebound, score! On the rebound, trailing on the play was Nathan Riley, the freshman who buries it. With 8:04 left, Nate Riley gets one of them back for Springford. And it is now 6-2. So Bystol with that shot and off the glove of Prezillo. But give Riley, a little freshman speedster and really good energy and hustling up there as the trailer to shoot it in on the rebound. And the Rams get one of them back, now 6-2 with 8:04 to go. Face-off win for Springford. If they can get another quick one, then all of a sudden you start to go, hey, what if, Here's a bouncer, settled in the corner. Venezia put it out in front. And it's put on the pads of Prezillo. A little try for Grady Heacock. Prezillo got bowled over, and he's knocked down. He is laying backwards in the crease. Oh, my. And I don't know if he bent a leg or if he got any contact there. I didn't really see anybody hit him. But the goaltender for Council Rock South, Trey Prezillo, is in some distress and down, and they bring the trainer out there to look at junior goaltender Trey Prezillo, who is sitting up now, and so we hope for the best for him. So while they tend to the injured player, let's go ahead and take a timeout here. Council Rock South leading it here in the third period in the semifinals of the AA bracket of the Flyers Cup. It's Council Rock South 6, Springford Rams 2. Exclusive coverage of the Flyers Cup on YouTube, presented by the Sports Fan Base Network. Trey Prezillo, after chatting with the trainers out there, back up to his skates and did a quick little spin over to the corner. Looks like he's okay. And so good news for Council Rock South goaltender Trey Prezillo. And I didn't see any contact there. It's possible I missed it, but might have twisted an ankle just going down awkwardly or kind of weird. And he might have felt something and wanted to kind of catch his breath a little bit while he figured out what was going on. But he seems fine now. Weston in for CR South, and a shot is deflected by Schaefer. Doesn't go out of play. 7.5 to go. Wrap around. Oh, Olsen didn't know where it was. And Wiener almost put that one in. Trying to stuff it in, and Olsen, I think, barely identified it on that side and got a piece, and the defender who was there with Jake Wiener kind of held him up too. But he already got beat on one kind of stuff from behind the goal where he thought it was on the other side. Weston, a shot, a save, rebound covered. And Maurer getting in there and getting a jab at Grant Olsen will catch the attention of Venezia, who will let him know about it here as well. And, these defenders are going to step up to the plate for their goaltender, Grant Olsen, in his final minutes here ever with this Springford Rams team. It is, they're just high school kids after all, right? So 17, 18 years old for the seniors. And it's some emotional stuff, when you have so much pride in the school that you play for. And for Grant Olsen, he can look up on the clock and he knows that he's got 7 minutes and 7 seconds remaining as a hockey player for Springford, barring an incredible comeback. All right, here racing away to try to start that comeback is Broden Nickel, but he ran into some traffic, hands it off, and they couldn't get the exit there. Boy, they're all over him. Mosley was shoving in on Valerio. Valerio on top of Mosley, and those, out in front, it's on Olsen. Then there was a late little chop on Olsen, and they knocked down a man between the circles, namely Jackson Mosley, still hearing about it. Mosley and Valerio were getting particularly feisty and nasty in there. And they're trying to hold, restrain his teammate Mosley. They're trying to hold him back, saying, hey, we know you're heated here, but we don't need you getting a suspension, and we don't need you. We need you for the next game too. We don't need you getting some discipline situation where you don't get to play in the Flyers Cup final. So cool it and stay out there. So the teammates are out there kind of watching for each other, and in the meantime, they'll take some players to the box. Okay, so we got 5-on-5 on a slash and a cross check. Those offset, and both teams will be missing a player, but Springford's Valerio has drawn a fair amount of attention here today. And there were a couple of extra little late whacks in there on Grant Olson, and that's why the Springfield players are upset for their goaltender, who's just doing everything he can to keep his team around. Timeout is called for Council Rock South. They called timeout here. And this I think could be related to exactly what I was talking about, the discipline. And hey, don't let them get to your heads here. We got 6 minutes and 40 seconds to go before we move on. And if you blow up here and you get tossed out of this game and something that carries over to the next game because you're suspended, you're going to regret it. You want to play in the Flyers Cup championship game. So a timeout called for Joe Houck's Council Rock South Golden Hawks to kind of settle everybody down here a little bit. So they've added an unsportsmanlike on Springford possibly. Okay, so if Graff takes 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike, 2 or a 10, are they going to put a penalty on the board? Yes, they will. It is a 2, and it is a power play for Council Rock South. So they call timeout here while they're up 6-2, but it's because the emotions are absolutely escalating, and you don't want to lose a guy for the next game. Just get out of here, get your win, don't fall for the bait. Don't take the bait. Let's play it clean. We just got to have 6 minutes and 40 seconds of turning the other cheek and staying cool, guys. And they'll have a date on Wednesday, most likely, for the AA Flyers Cup Championship against either the North Penn Knights or the Downingtown East Cougars, the 2 versus 3 matchup. Who is going to play the 1 seed, Council Rock South? So out of the timeout, they get a power play, and CR South is 1 for 4 and on their 5th. But yeah, we see a lot of stick battles and hard shoves and guys getting knocked down away from the puck too. Face-off win for CR South. And Mallon hands it off over there for Jagger Smith on the left boards. That pass was tipped and cleared away. Dylan Sears sends it all the way out of there. Brazillo's side of the net will just shove it back behind the net, a little bit out of harm's way. And then they get the support back there to dodge away from the pursuit of Patrick Fergus. Here comes Council Rock South through center, out shooting Springford 48-20. Dylan Sear picked his pocket and steals, hands it off, and then they wanted to get it back to him. It didn't quite make it there. Fergus back to Sear, but picked off, and Sarney rushes in for CR South, handing it off there Weston, but Fergus and Nickel tie him up and roll it all the way down to goaltender Trey Prezzello with 5:50 to go in the third. 6-2 Council Rock South on a hat trick for Jeremy Rayer. And also a 5-on-3 goal for Jackson Mosley. Goal, a snipe on the rush for Daniel Filipoff. And also Jonah Weston started the third period scoring. It was 3-1, and he scored the first of their 3 straight. Filipoff on the right point, 42 seconds left on the power play, and 5:20 to go in the game. Springford Rams find it and clear. And gobbled up and carried right back in by Peter Paraborough. Not quite. He'll kind of run into some traffic and hand it off, drop it off for Jordan Sarney. And it seems like everyone is kind of actually cooled off some and caught their breath a little bit. Falbo, a couple of jabs on Paraborough, shakes it off and dangles through the D's in on goal, and he scores! Individual effort and how for Peter Paraborough. A power play goal. It's 7-2, Council Rock South. Paraborough just dangling and weaving through the D. I mean, that is some great work. Oh, those are some good hands. Right through and around, and a left circle to rifle it home. Peter Paraborough, the senior D, who had 6 goals on the regular season, and his first of the Flyers Cup. It is 7-2. Now that's a power play goal as well, so CR South is 2 for 5, and I wonder if we have other penalties out of that, and it looks like we do. And Jordan Sarney of Council Rock South on the other side of the goal that was scored. So the referees are absolutely getting a handle on this game, and they need to. Just make sure that, it doesn't get any worse or out of hand. I mean, it was just getting physical, and it was getting feistier and feistier. Power play for Springford. The Rams are 0 for 1 and on their second. Now we see a 7-2 score, and obviously that looks like a blowout, and really it wasn't. It was a 2-1 game in the second, a 3-1 game at the intermission. And then Council Rock South pushed through with 4 goals in the third. And here they come with Falbo shooting it through the blue paint from the side of the net. Cohen tried to clear nicely, kept in on the point by Graff. And staying with it and whacked out of there. Gobbled up by Isaac Bystol with 4.5 to go in the game. Riley, who had a goal and made it 6-2, knocked away from him, but Falbo on the pickup, and he's in. And off the boards and over the right wing corner. Riley over there. Kind of some time and some space, and then stepping up and anticipating. Jake Maurer just picked his pocket and shoved it out of there. Bystol took a little bit of a bump from Maurer, but hangs onto the puck. And it's driven in deep for the Rams with 1 minute to go on the power play and 4 minutes to go until officially punching their ticket to the Flyers Cup Championship game for Joe Houck's Council Rock South Golden Hawks. Fergus, the handoff through center from Sear, who dodges away. Little clip attempt by Cohen, kind of sticking his leg out. Sear said something to him there as well. And around the boards and in. Fergus down there. Bystol kept it on the blue line. Filipoff couldn't clear. Fergus shoots it down low. Sear right on top of him. Tried to elevate it over the right pad of Brazillo and couldn't do it. Brazillo covering space as best as he could, and Sear just didn't have enough room to elevate anything. So nicely done for Trey Brazillo, protecting the cage. Shot in deep and from behind the goal. Council Rock South shoots it all the way out of there. Schaefer from his own side. He scored that tying goal with 1:02 left in their first round game against Central Buck South. They were down 3-1 in the third in a 12 versus 5 matchup. They rallied to win in overtime on an overtime shorthanded goal for Dylan Sear, then a 4-0 shutout win. Here's a shot, a save, a rebound. Schaefer got a little poke in on Brazillo. As he was covering, Brazillo is okay, and he presents the puck to the officials, and that does it for their power play as well. It has been a magnificent run for a Springford Rams team that most would not have predicted to make it to the semifinals here in the Flyers Cup, especially when they were down 3-1 in the third period of the first round. Here they are, but their Cinderella story is going to come to an end in 2 minutes and 47 seconds. Here's a shot from the right circle, Schaefer. I think that one missed wide on Brazillo. In behind the goal is Seth Galati, a senior in his final minutes, wearing a Springford Rams jersey. Stephen Falbo on the forecheck is also a senior. They got a little bump on each other there. And along the boards and handling it, Galati with Riley in there, the freshman who had a goal. Bright future for him. A lot of good energy. Luke Ralston for Council Rock South. They will improve to 22-1 and go to the Flyers Cup Championship game probably on Wednesday against either North Penn or Downingtown East. Sarney steals. He's in and shoots, and off the right shoulder. Rebound at the end boards. Couldn't get a little backhand tap in off the glass. Sarney carried to the left wall. Into the middle, but pushed over to the corner by Nathan Riley. Couple bodies colliding in there. Mosley in and shoving around some. Mosley, and I mean, those guys again, Mosley and Valerio, and they had just served penalties for little altercations earlier, and it's escalating for those two again. All tangled up and finally cleared out of there by Springford. With 1:37 left, that is sailed all the way down. That is an icing violation on the Rams of Springford. Jeremy Rayer scored twice in the first period, and Council Rock South outshot Springford 23-6. But goaltender Grant Olson was terrific and kept his Springford Rams in the game. Cohen Graff scored from center point to make it 2-1. Springford came out buzzing to begin the second period and really had the better of the play. But after that, Springford kind of woke up again. Filipoff on the rush. That's your turning point. When he scored, the defenseman just rushing up there and sniping to the upper left corner with 10:26 left in the second. That made it 3-1. That was the big deal. Heacock just got rocked over there by Maurer. And it looks like he's okay. More shoulder on shoulder. 1:05 left in the game. Filipoff with a goal tonight. And he'll just toss it in deep. Scooped up behind the Springford goal. Pushed up along the boards. No exit for Heacock. They'll try the other way. And a shot from the point that missed well wide, and Grant Olson read that all the way. And that one went off a leg and bangs all the way down ice, and on that deflection, it's an icing, or not an icing rather, it went off of a Council Rock South player. Brazillo hands it off to Filipoff. He's in some trouble and duress. Valerio steps up and picks it off and rolled it in down low with 25 seconds to go. Crash and bang up there for Barzik, and he's another senior in his last seconds. As we count it down here, Rooney in behind the goal. Nickel stays there with him. Over to the board, stolen away. Nickel carries it up ice, 3-on-2 for Springford. One more chance, pumped off of his stick, and that's going to do it. The Council Rock South Golden Hawks, the #1 seed, push through on a hat trick for Jeremy Rayer. And they move on in a 7-2 semifinal win over the Cinderella Springford Rams. All of the Rams players are gathering around Grant Olson and the seniors for their last games. In the meantime, the Council Rock South Golden Hawks, they're congratulating each other, and goaltender Trey Prezillo. And Council Rock South, for a second year in a row, will go to the Flyers Cup Championship game. And they will meet the winner of the North Penn Knights versus the Downingtown East Cougars in the 2-versus-3 matchup coming up. Grant Olson and Trey Prezillo are leading their teams' respective handshake lines. And the hockey tradition here, even at the high school level, of course. But it's one of the great traditions in this sport, of course. And in the 46th annual Flyers Cup, Springford gave them a battle. But eventually the Council Rock South Golden Hawks pushed through, led by Jeremy Rayer's hat trick. Council Rock South is on to the Flyers Cup Championship game. And the Springford Rams had a wonderful run with 2 upset wins and made it all the way to the semifinals, and a lot to be proud of. Bob Rotruck signing off from Hatfield Ice World in Colmar, Pennsylvania. The 1 seed Council Rock South Golden Hawks move on. They improved to 22-1, and they're playing again in the Flyers Cup Championship game next week. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Final score again, Council Rock South 7, Springford Rams 2. Exclusive coverage of the 46th annual Flyers Cup on YouTube, presented by the Sports Fan Base Network.
This broadcast is presented by the Flyers Cup and SFBN, who own all broadcast rights. Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game, including social media, is strictly prohibited.